In this tutorial, we are going to talk about the export audio mixdown section. So if you're bouncing down audio files or you're exporting your final mix, this is the section you do it in. So it's simple as file, export, audio mixdown. And I have mine set up as a shortcut key as equals. So it's pretty easy to pop up. So here are the different sections of file location. This is where you name your file. And here's the path where it's saved in. And what's cool here is it'll save the path of the last place you saved in. So it'll sometimes save you time. Or you can click choose and choose a different file path. Or you just click this use project audio folder. And it will use the audio files folder of the project that you're working on. So that saves you a lot of times too. You just check that. It'll save right into your audio files folder. Here are the different file formats. So I like to use WAV, and then I also check this insert broadcast WAV chunk, and this is a section that makes it into a broadcast WAV file, and a broadcast WAV file is just like a WAV file, but it tags on a little bit more information. So this helps because if you have some edits and you might transfer to another studio or another producer or engineer and these edits somehow get mixed up, sometimes you can snap it back to the timestamp and it will go to where it recorded. So that can sometimes save you if you're in a bind. Another thing is you can save some of your information in the file. So engineer or producer or maybe A&R guy might know you see your email address in there and know that you produce this track. He might know where you're at. Okay, so the other file formats are AIFC and AIFF are basically the same. These are Apple file formats, but almost any computer will open them. Not bad to use. Here's MP3, which is very popular. Here's a section where you change a bit rate as well as a sample rate over here, and then here's where you enter in the tag. You can enter in the file information there. OGG Vorbis is another similar type of, I guess, an MP3 file, as it's compressed, and it's a lossy compression, which means you lose some sound quality, but you still retain a lot of it. And a lossless compression would be you just lose data but remain exactly the same sound quality. Here is a WMA file, and this is a good file format if you're using surround and multiple channel files. Here's a WAV64 file. It's just like a WAV file, but it's able to hold a larger, it's over 2 gig file. So if you're going to record like a live session that's a long, continuous, over an hour, a couple hours, this would be the file format you'd probably most likely want to choose. And this section is the audio engine output. Here is where you can choose the different channels. So you can mix down to channels 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, whatever channels you have set up in your architecture. Here's where you can bounce down to mono. Here's where you could split channels, so you can have left and right. Or here's a trick. If you want to export out a lot of channels, you can set up a surround bus and export out each channel in that surround bus and choose split channels, and then you'll kind of have exported like individual channels. Here's where you can change the sample rate, and here's where you can change the bit depth. Here's real-time export. Real-time export is, instead of it doing it non-real time, it does it in real time. Sometimes plugins get messed up if they don't do it in real time, so you might want to check this if you find some of your automation isn't being correctly followed in one of your plugins. You can check real time here. And then update display updates the meters. So this is good if you want to check for overs, like in your final output, have this update display clicked, and you'll see if you clipped over 0, the red light will go off and you can make adjustments and re-export. Here's a section where you would re-import back into your pool or re-import back into an audio track. So if you don't want that to happen, you'd uncheck these. And here's closes dialog after export. You can uncheck it in case you want to export multiple things. Sometimes I like to export a wave, keep this unchecked, and then once it's done, I'll export to MP3 and then close it out. And obviously, here's where you export. And that about wraps it up for the export audio mixdown.